Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve LeanCode problem 897 Island City. So this is the problem that was asked at Facebook. So before we go through the description, I just want to mention that I often create videos to help people who are preparing for coding and Java interviews. I have created like a playlist which over 100 solved problems explained and Java solutions explained in the playlist. So if you are a Java developer looking for preparing for interviews and coding interviews, please subscribe to the channel now. This channel has a lot of good material that will help you in your interview preparation. So let us go through the description first of the problem. So given a matrix of size n into m, the elements in the matrix are 0, 1, 2. 0 is for C, 1 is for island, 2 is for city on the island. You can assume that 2 is built on 1, that is 2 also represents the island. So 2 is basically like a city which is built on top of island. That's what they are saying. If 2, 1 are adjacent, then those 2, 1 belong to the same island. Find the number of islands with at least one city. So we only consider up, down, left and right adjacent, and then n and m both are less than equal to 100. So this is the size of the matrix. You can assume that the four sides of the matrix are surrounded by C, means zeros basically, right? Zero is water. So they have given us two examples. So let us take one example, the second one here. So let's take this example over here. So what they are asking is, for example, here you can see that these three ones are forming one island, right? But in this island there is no city because there is no two here, right? But if you look at this island on in this matrix or in this grid, then you can see that this island has two cities, right? This two means it has two different cities like this two. So we can count it as one, that is a island city, and this is another island which has a city, right? Two means basically it is a uh, it is a city built on top of island, so it can be considered as one other island city. So there are 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 should be our answer, right? So this one, as you can see, 2 is the answer here, right? That is why 2. And if you look at this first example here, 1, 1, 1 is there. So the island is there, but no city is there. Here also this 1 and these two ones, these three ones are forming one island, but there is no city. And here also this is island, but there is no city because city is represented by 2. So since there is no city on the islands, we have to just return 0 here. So that is the problem that we are going to solve. This is a Facebook problem. So asked in Facebook interview. So what we are going to do to solve this problem is we are going to use DFS, which is depth first search or depth first traversal. So how DFS works is, if you are on this I comma j cell, right? I comma j cell, then we will look in four directions: up, down, right, and left, right? Basically, as you can see, I minus 1j, I plus 1j, ij plus 1, and ij minus 1. So these four directions we will look from the current cell whenever we find any one or two, right? And we will start DFS in all these four directions. And we will try to find out if on that island we can find out any city. If we find out any city on the island, we will just increment our count, right? So that is our approach to solve this problem. So we will start from this first cell because we are iterating through this grid, right? So once we see one, then it means that we have found an island. So we will go in four directions, and we will try to find out wherever there is a valid cell, right? Valid cell means if we go here, 0 is not valid because it is a C, right? So we can go here. This one is a valid cell. 1 is a valid cell. Also, this one is a valid cell. So whenever we find, we will try to find 2, but we are not finding any 2 here. And we will, whenever we visit a cell, we will make that cell 0, right? So we don't want to revisit the cell again. So we will make it 0. So now we already have seen one island, but we did not find any island city yet. So now we are going to hit this point where again we are seeing a second island. So we will again do DFS from this in four directions, right? We cannot go on these directions because it is 0, which is water, right? So we have to go in this direction. So we will go here. So we will make this 0. We will visit 2. So once we visit 2, then it means that we found a city on the island, right? So we will, our count now, we will make it from 0 to 1, right? Because we have found one island city basically. Now again we will keep DFS in these directions. When we are visiting all these cells, we are making it 0, right? So I am just writing 0 here. So to understand that we are making it 0, and now since we found a city, we will make our count as 1. So we will keep going and we will finally visit this cell where we see 2. 2 means city is built on top of island. That's what they already told us, right? So I will just show you here. So you can assume that 2 is built on top of 1. That is 2 also represents island. So city is built on top of island. So this is another one, which is a city built on top of island. So we will increment it by 1. So our count become 2 and we will return 2 as our answer. So this is what you will see here in the example, right? So this is how we are going to solve this problem using DFS, going in all 4 directions and trying to find out 2, right? 2 is the island city. Whenever we find a island, we will explore DFS and we will try to find out if we can find out any city. If we find a city, we will increment our count. So let us look into the implementation details now. So as you can see, this one is not required actually for us, and visited array also is not required for us in this case. So we will just make one count variable and we will return the count at the end of the function. Here in this for loop, we are iterating through the grid and we are trying to find out a cell which is the island cell, right? So 1 or 2. Basically, island means island cell means 1 or 2. 1 or 2 I am writing here, right? So whenever we find 1 or 2, we will start our DFS. So in DFS, we are going to first create a empty set that we are going to pass, because DFS function does not return anything, right? It is returning void. So to get the information out of the DFS function, we will use the set here, right? So we will pass the set here, and that is how we will know if we are finding any island city or not, right? And then we will check the set size here, because whenever we find any island city, we will just put that into our set, right? Its coordinates. So now let's look at the DFS function. So this is our standard DFS function, right? Where first thing we check is that we are not going outside of the matrix, right? I is less than 0, or I is greater than equal to matrix length, or j is less than 0, or j is greater than equal to matrix I dot length. This means that we are going outside of the matrix. If that happens, or if we are visiting a cell which is 0, right, which is water cell, if this thing happen, we will not proceed, right? We will just return simply, because we cannot proceed in that case, because it's outside of the matrix, or if we are visiting a water cell, right? Because we are interested to see 1 or 2. 1 is island and 2 is city on the island, right? So now after that, we will check if we are hitting any 2, like cell is a 2 basically. If we find any 2 cell, we will add it into the coordinates into our set. And why we are adding it into set? Because the method is returning void. DFS is a recursive method, it returns void. So to get the information out of this method, we will use set, right? That is why we are using set here. And after that, once we visit a cell, we will make that cell 0. So we will not revisit it again, right? So that's what the purpose is. And after that, we are visiting the DFS in 4 directions, which is I plus 1j, I minus 1j, ij plus 1, ij minus 1, right? Because that's what I explained you here. So these are the 4 directions we go. So this is the DFS function, and finally we get the count. Whenever we will keep checking if we have found any island here by checking the set size here, right? If it is greater than 0, means we found some city on top of island. So we are going to count it and we will return the count at the end. So this is the example that they have given us, the second example. So let's give it a run now and make sure it gives us 2 now as the answer. So as you can see, 2 is coming as the answer here, so which is correct. And this is, I just printed how the set is printing right here. So I can just, so whenever it finds any city on top of island, it just prints that set. So let's just comment that out. So now what we will do is, this is the example that we just saw, and which gives us 2, right? Because 2 are the islands which has cities. So now what we will do is we will update it, this one to 1 and this one to 2. So, and this one also to 1 and this one to 2. So this one will be another island. So it should give us 3. So let us modify our input matrix quickly, and we will make this as a 1 2 here, as I showed you. Here also we will make it as 1 2. So this is now going to be third, right? Third island city. So it should give us 3. So as you can see, it is giving us correct output as 3. So we'll just go ahead and submit our solution now. So as you can see, our solution is 95.8% faster than others, which is pretty good. So this is the problem that was asked by Facebook, Island City. So make sure you understand the problem, practice the problem, and also when you are practicing the solutions, please do not use the IDs. Try to handwrite the Java code, without any autocomplete. So you will practice it, because on the real-time interviews on the whiteboard, there won't be any autocomplete or anything. So also please make sure that you go through my LeetCode playlist. It has over 100 solved examples which are previously asked by big tech companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft. So go through them. They have a variety of problems solved there, including dynamic programming, binary search, different data structures related problems, priority queue related problems, maximization problems. So go through them. You will get like good hands-on experience if you go through those videos. As well as there is another Java interview related playlist to practice for the phone interview questions for Java, which are frequently asked by big tech companies. So those were discussed there, and how to answer them is also discussed there. So go through them. That will really be helpful if you are planning to give any coding interviews or any phone interviews. Also, if you find this video helpful and if you like this video, please subscribe it and like it. Your subscription is really important to us, because that is the way the video can reach to more people, and they can also watch it and get benefited when they are preparing for Java interviews and coding interviews. So please subscribe it, and thanks for watching the video.